Hi everybody, I'm Angie Jones and welcome to Love Starts in the Kitchen. Join me and discover your own love for cooking. Hi everybody, I'm Angie Jones. Welcome to Love Starts in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing some black bean brownies. It's like a healthier version of brownies that really our whole family likes to have them around the afternoon when you're having coffee or tea and you need a little pick-me-up. But it's still really good for you because you're getting a bean instead of just having a brownie. And after looking high and far for a really good recipe, I think I tried 14 different recipes over the past 2 to 3 years. And I finally have come up with a recipe that actually works and they turn out really good and they're not either really dry and flaky or like a refried beans with chocolate in it, and that's not very appealing either. So this is going to taste just like a brownie. You will love it, and we're going to get started. It's super easy, and if you have one of these Ninjas or a food processor, it makes the job a whole lot easier. So we're going to be using my little Ninja today. Okay, so we're going to take the lid off. And the first thing we're going to do is we're using some oats. So we're going to make this into kind of a flour. So let's put this in. And then we're going to kind of whir it up a little. So it's going to get a little noisy for a second. Here we go. Turn it on. And I'm going to go like this. And we're basically breaking it up. Okay, and see how it's broken it up a bit more. So that way it's like kind of like a flour, but still has a little texture. Now we're going to take the actual beans. Super easy recipe. You can't go wrong. We're going to put the black beans in. And this was just a can of black beans or a cup and a half. If you have a big can, like I did today, because I like to use it for other stuff. And so we're going to do this and put this lid on. There we go. And again, we're going to start it up. And let's scrape it down a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 eggs. And I left them out on the counter so they get a little bit warmed up and wouldn't be cold. So I feel like they get incorporated much better when you do that. And then I'm going to put in a little 2 tablespoons of Truvia. You can use a little bit more if you want it a little sweeter, but I find that's just right for us. And then some unsweetened cocoa powder. And I happened to get the organic this time, so that was kind of nice. And then we're going to use some baking powder to give it a little oomph. And in a lot of recipes, they didn't use baking powder, and it was kind of like a flat pancake of beans, which wasn't very appetizing. So we're going to put the baking powder. And then I have some vanilla to give it some extra flavor. And then we have some coconut oil that really adds a lot of flavor and also gives it a really nice texture like a brownie. And it's also really good for you. So most of these things in here are all really very good for you. I shouldn't say most, because really all of it is. And we'll do that. And then we're not going to put the chips or the chopped nuts inside because I don't want them ground up. So let's put the lid on. We're going to let it process just a little here to incorporate some of the ingredients. And then I'm going to scrape it down a little bit to get all of the good ingredients incorporated because you want a good consistent rise and a good consistent texture. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, now I'm going to move these guys out of the way a little. And I have an 8x8 glass dish that I have sprayed with a little avocado oil. That way it won't stick. I've got all the dishes here today. Okay. And then let's take this off. Okay. And then I'm going to take this little guy out because that way I can get all of the mixture out easily. Just scrape it all off. Ooh, there's a bunch on the bottom. Okay. And we're just going to put it into this little dish. You can use really any pan you have. I just happen to have an 8x8 glass dish. If you have a regular pan, you can use that. But I don't recommend that you get too much more larger than the 8x8 because then they'll be too thin. And you don't get that really good brownie feel when they're too thin. They don't hold together because this is a moist brownie mixture. So you have to get something that lets you have a little bit of height to it. So don't get it too large. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm going to spread it out in the pan and make it even. And then let's do this. We're going to sprinkle a little of the mixed nuts on here. I mean, not mixed. This is pecans, actually. And I'm just going to incorporate it very little because I want it to be consistent. So that's why I waited to put it into the pan. So it can have the brownie-like look to it. You know, when you get the nut brownies, and they look so good. Okay, and then now we're going to take some of the chocolate chips and just sprinkle them on. And these are dark chocolate chips. So again, they're full of antioxidants. They're really good for you. Everything in here is really quite nutritious for you. So it does have a purpose. It's not like eating a regular brownie where it's full of sugar. This has 0 sugar. And you're just going to put a little bit like that in it. And I like to go in and kind of push them down. Just really quickly, nothing real fancy. So it's already looking very brownie-like. And then we're going to take these whole pecans, and then I'm going to kind of guesstimate that this is going to be like 3, 6, 9 through here. So in the middle of each, now you don't have to do this. I do this because I think it looks nice. So here we go. There's 1, 2, and you also have to determine how big you want to make your pieces, I guess, too. But I like a big piece. Okay. There we go. And there we go. See? Imagine you're going to have 9 pieces when it's all done and cooled. And don't put it in. Don't cut it before you put it in, obviously, because it's a batter. So okay, we're going to put this in, and I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes, and I'm going to check it and see. Okay, so now we're going to put our black bean brownies into the oven, and I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and we're going to put them in for 20 to 25 minutes. You'll have to check at 20 minutes to see if it's set up and if it's ready to come out for you, or if you live in a more damp area, it might take you more like 25. But we're going to go ahead and put this in, and then we'll come back and check. So here we go. There we go. And remember to check it in 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll see you back here. Okay, so I took the black bean brownies out of the oven, And then I let them cool. So that way they set up and they're easier to slice, and they're easier to take out of the glass dish. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slice them up into 9 pieces like we talked about earlier. Let's do that. They look like they're just the perfect consistency, and they're going to taste just like a black bean brownie. I'm already drooling. These look so good. Okay, now I'm going to turn it around and do it the opposite way. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm going to take out one of these. What should I take out? This one? It looks really good. Look at this. They're really, oops, that one kind of fell apart a little, but that's okay. Look at that. It has a real cakey texture, and I know it's going to taste good because we've got the toasted pecan on top and the nice melty chips and then the fudgy, chocolatey, cakey interior. Isn't this lovely? Look at that. Oh, wow. So good. Okay, let's take a little bite. Oh my God. So good. So delicious and healthy. So if you'd like to get this recipe, we're going to put a link down below in the description box. You can click on it and print it out for yourself at home so you can make these at home. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you always see the new recipes that come up. And like this video if you like the bean brownies. And so appreciate you stopping by today. And I hope you enjoy your bean brownies. They're so good and so good for you. Thanks for joining me today at Love Starts in the Kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and like it, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'd never miss an episode. And always remember to keep love in your kitchen.